Cathie Wood was just on TV reiterating her bullishness about Tesla stock, and we know that she has a Tesla stock price target of $2,600 for 2029.
Tesla, we believe, will have a lock on the Robotaxi business in the U.S. First Robotaxi is launching in Austin in June, and we believe they're going to proliferate through the United States, especially if we move regulation from a state level to federal level, which we believe will happen, is going to proliferate through the United States, I think, more quickly than many people expect. Many people don't expect it at all. So that's going to be easy to beat.
At this point, it's inevitable. When I became a Tesla stock investor in 2019, I saw that the EV wave is coming, and it happened. And now the FSD wave is coming, and most people haven't realized that it's even coming yet. But some of us Tesla bulls are seeing what's happening.
I think he feels he has a duty to the country to make sure we don't blow ourselves up with these deficits.
But you must have been concerned about brand damage for Tesla.
Brand damage, yes. And it has happened. I do not believe so. So yes, it did hurt, but what also hurt was macros. All automakers, until this tariff swoosh, to get ahead of tariffs, all automakers have been suffering, and especially in the first quarter. The news cycle passes quickly in the United States now that Elon is stepping somewhat aside, not completely.
Which you welcome.
Yeah, no, I think the shock value of what he did was important, and now he's got a team in place that is going to follow through. And the way that Elon works is he sets milestones and time frames, and when
that he often doesn't meet.
When they are not met, he goes in and becomes ultra focused, and you hear about the mass layoffs and all of that.
And right now Elon Musk is definitely paying attention to Tesla and FSD specifically, because he's posting quite a bit about FSD. Elon Musk also posted a screenshot of Tesla stock, which is very rare for him. I'm gonna talk a bit more about that later, but clearly he's focused on Tesla.
Well, the wonderful thing about what's going on with artificial intelligence in particular is that the cost of innovation is collapsing. Our AI training costs are dropping 75% per year. AI inference costs 85 to, if you believe DeepSeek, 95% per year.
And can you think of a company right now that makes cars but also is investing a huge amount of money into AI? Tesla obviously is benefiting from this.
Innovation is part of the program, and especially with Elon Musk at the helm. He has been at the helm. He's going to be stepping aside. I think he has been shocked and has surfaced how old the technology is and how inefficient it is and how much we are doing manually. So I think
at government.
In the government sector, we've had Palantir go in, starting with the Department of Defense, and now it's moving into other parts of the government and increasing efficiency enormously. We desperately needed this. Some of these systems were 50, 60 years old.
Yeah.
And so if we look at the FDA, for example, we're already seeing more transparency and streamlining, which is absolutely essential. Deregulation. Regulations have been strangling innovation in the U.S.
Also, don't forget that if Elon Musk wasn't involved in the government, I don't think we would have one unified federal regulation for full self-driving vehicles, which now we are going to have. And that, of course, makes it faster for Tesla to scale its FSD and deploy robotaxis in all of the US.
The largest AI project on Earth is autonomous transportation, whether it's robotaxis. So Tesla, we have said for quite some time, is the largest AI project on Earth.
And if you have a Tesla with FSD, you can actually see it and experience it for yourself. So this is not some theoretical project. No. You can actually use it, use the fruits of this AI revolution right now. This post here says that the humanoid industry will be a $50 trillion industry, and Elon Musk reposted that post. Elon also gave us an update on the Tesla Optimus bot production. Earlier, Tesla's IR told, I think it was Morgan Stanley, that Tesla is currently at 1,000 a month production capacity for the Tesla bot. But Elon himself replied to that post saying, this is not correct. We are building a production line to enable 1,000 per month build, and that is still many months away, so Tesla is not at that production capacity right now. There's a report from Drive Tesla Canada that a new Tesla Model Y with LiDAR has been spotted in Austin, likely doing ground truthing for perhaps the Robotaxi launch next month. If that's what's happening, that is good news for us Tesla stock investors, because it would suggest that everything is still on schedule for the launch. But as someone points out, these do pop up sometimes, so it doesn't guarantee that this is specifically for the Robotaxi. Basically, what they use LiDARs for in these situations is they just help to verify camera precision and ensure FSD is measuring distances correctly. What is quite amusing though is that Tesla supposedly buys their LiDAR units from remember the Mark Rober's video where he smashed the Tesla into this fake wall, and then he basically had a LiDAR vehicle which didn't, while that LiDAR vehicle which didn't used LiDARs from this company. Tesla's FSD continues to advance, and with that, Tesla relaxed how strict they were with monitoring you. And with this latest FSD version, v13.2.9, indeed it is confirmed that camera monitoring does appear to have been relaxed in some scenarios. For example, it lets you look at the screen for a little bit longer before giving you a warning. And with FSD, sometimes you get people complaining that how is it going to work in heavy rain? And here's an example of exactly how it was going to work. So this guy was driving when it started dumping rain and he could barely see, but FSD was on. 10 minutes later, the car swerved into the opposite lane and he thought that FSD made a mistake, but in the middle of the road there was a dead deer, which of course he didn't see, but FSD did. It dodged it and it prevented an accident which would have been certain, he says. This is becoming so routine now, but think about this, guys. This is actually a big thing. 600 miles, 0 disengagement, so that's about 1,000 kilometers actually. Made it home after a weekend in Vegas and drove there and back from LA with 0 disengagements on FSD. It even handled the 30-mile-per-hour winds I encountered on the way back with no issue. Yeah, I've been driving in my Model Y here, and it's lately I encountered a few situations where the winds were over 25 miles per hour, and without FSD I sort of have to fight constantly against the wind, and I was going on the highway pretty fast. But with FSD just sort of does these little corrections all the time automatically, so it doesn't really feel like the wind is as fast as it actually is. That's one thing that normally I wouldn't have thought of, where FSD would be quite helpful, but it makes the driving experience just so much better if it's really windy. The more I drive on FSD, the less likely I am to ever not drive on FSD. And if you do have a disability of any sort that makes it harder for you to drive, FSD is definitely going to help you a lot. Sawyer here is impressed that his Tesla drove him to a supercharger, reversed into a stall, and parked all on its own, which is pretty cool. Guys, you know how regulations are different in the US and China, and also labor is cheaper in China than in the US? Well, in China, they are using real people to test safety related performance like this. I definitely don't recommend it, but they are doing it. By the way, if you do want to use FSD a lot and you want to get the most out of it, I only suggest that you get a Model 3 or a Model Y, ideally a Model Y, because it has by far the most data. And even for Omar, who is the biggest FSD bull out there, he says that there's a huge difference in how often he uses FSD on his Cybertruck versus his Model 3. Because it's so much better on Model 3. I use it nearly all the time, whereas for Cybertruck, it's only about 50% at the time. And I also feel a significant difference between a Model 3, for example, and a Model X. However, it's also important to say that the Cybertruck is more fun to drive, and Omar agrees that's definitely part of it. Steer-by-wire makes steering so fun. But also it's because FSD on the Model 3 or the Model Y is just going to be noticeably better. Oh, wow. Omar has spent 38 hours inside of Waymo vehicle. It's getting close to 420 miles traveled now, which is way more than most people, I would say. I'm not sure exactly why he's using Waymo so much. I guess it's because for him it's better than Uber, or maybe he just wants to see how it all works. But I think after maybe like 100 rides, you get a good idea of how it works, and he has had quite a few more than that. So I think he just likes it better than Uber. Tesla is offering 0% financing in many countries in Europe. Here's a list of some of them. If you do live in Europe, you want to check these out. The CEO of Lyft has a few words to share. I know there are a lot of feelings about Tesla and their CEO. I also know from personal experience that Teslas and EVs in general are great options for ride-shared riders and drivers. Tesla and Lyft are in a partnership currently where if you are a Lyft driver, you can get $1,000 in Tesla credits upon taking delivery of any new Tesla. Cathie Wood here is defending Elon Musk. She says history will look kindly, much more than kindly, on Elon Musk's profound contributions to the US and to humanity. What were his haters thinking? She's quoting this post, which says Elon Musk revolutionized free speech. Yeah, but screw that guy. Elon helps paralyzed people walk. Yeah, but screw that guy. And it goes on for a little bit like that. I do have one thing to say though. My X account has been suspended either at the end of June or in the beginning of February, and I didn't even get an email explaining why. There's nothing at all communicated to me what's the reason. I believe it was done completely by mistake. I don't know why, because it hasn't been explained to me. I contacted the support of X at least 10 times, probably more. And if you looked at my posts on X, they were just simple posts. I don't think there was a single post that broke the terms of service of X. I don't think I have ever done anything that broke the terms of services of X. There was never any kind of warning given to me or anything of that sort, nothing. So while I do think that Elon Musk is doing so many good things, occasionally what happens is there's a mistake made and it takes forever to correct that mistake. I'm not sure if I will ever get this account back. Maybe eventually I will get it back. I hope I will. And I will keep trying further to get this account back, because this just looks really bad for Elon Musk. Why is my account suspended? I have done nothing wrong, clearly. There's not even an explanation. If I had an explanation, I could say, oh, okay, I disagree with that explanation, but okay, you say that, so whatever. But now there's nothing, and there's no recourse really that you can take either. On top of all that, that account had a subscription to X. So obviously this was not... you could say maybe with other accounts, oh, it's an account that the system interpreted as a bot account, but you can't really say that about an account that barely posts, which also has a paid subscription to X and had it for more than a year, 2 years, something like that. I don't know exactly. So for now, what I've done is I created a new account, and I also used this account to contact the support of X, which... at least in this case, I got an acknowledgement that it was received, but basically they said that because it's not coming from the account that's suspended, there's nothing that they can do, which I don't really believe that. Well, maybe it's not in their direct power. They have to know someone who then knows someone who can actually do something about it. So when you do see some pushback against Elon Musk, while most of it is definitely not deserved, some of it, like in this case, why is my account banned? There are some mistakes made in things that Elon Musk does, but that's just a part of the whole process. Eventually, the important thing is that the mistakes are corrected. This one has not been corrected yet. I'm sure eventually it will be corrected, but how long will that take? When a mistake is not corrected for a very long time, it then creates negative brand damage. So in the meantime, until I get my original account back, please follow that account if you want to see exclusive posts on X. There's going to be a link down below in the description and in the pinned comment. Check this out. Japan is considering a plan to offer subsidies for building charging stations for Tesla EVs in tariff talks with the US. The government currently provides subsidies for installing charging stations for EVs only for the charging standard that originated in Japan, which is not Tesla's charging standard. But that might be changing. There's some seriously crazy stuff happening over at Luminar. They make LiDAR sensors for automotive applications. The founder, Austin Russell, has resigned as the CEO and chairman of the board following a Code of Business Conduct and Ethics inquiry by the audit committee at the board of directors. And of course, we are all wondering what he did. Some people are speculating that this video is somehow related to that. Also, Mark Rober is not the most active person on X, but he hasn't posted anything since he posted this video on X here. So it's been, what, 2 months now since he posted anything. And if you look to his previous posts, well, he doesn't post every single week. Usually he posts at least something once a month or something like that. So this is a bit unusual, but he did post a new YouTube video a month after he posted the one about Tesla. So I doubt that he's personally in any sort of serious trouble, but the timing of this Luminar CEO replacement, this is just too interesting. When Mark Rober's video came out, look at what happened to the stock. It went up substantially. And then after that, ooh, it's now even lower than before the video, isn't it? No, only just a little bit, 7%. The video I just double checked came out on March 15th, so we would need to track from March 14th here. So yeah, it's down about 10% now. But I think at least part of the jump here was because of Mark's video. And my opinion is that the timing of this whole thing is very interesting. If any investigative journalists are watching this, oh, I would dig deep into this. I'm sure there's something juicy that's going to eventually come out of this. And by the way, this could be completely unrelated to Mark Rober, but it's just interesting that the timing is somewhat connected. And look at what we got here. The name of this account still gets me. When I see it, I still sometimes think it's not Elon Musk, but if you look at the handle, it is actually Elon Musk. And it's been a while since we have had any specific comments about Tesla stock, specifically about the price of it from Elon Musk directly. And well, all Elon Musk is saying here is keck, showing that Tesla stock is up almost 50% in the last month. Yeah, this is my favorite part. Elon Musk follows up with that. Yo, Timmy, how's your day, bro? This is where Tim Wall said, if you need a little boost during the day, check out Tesla stock. Oh no, it's even Mark Ryan is going real low with this one. Tim will be very upset when his wife's boyfriend lets him check his stocks app. Oh, and this is unfortunate, but the former president has been diagnosed with advanced and aggressive prostate cancer, which has metastasized to the bone. So it's very serious. Yeah, look at what Elon's mom found while sorting through photos. I came across computer aptitude test results of Elon Musk at 17. My genius boy, proud mom. Elon says, they said I scored the highest for engineering aptitude that they had ever seen. Or in other words, not bad for a human, as a future AI might say. Speaking of AI, you can now generate charts with Grok. Charts like this. A Waymo vehicle was just pulled over by the police, and the Waymo operator was speaking to the police after being involved in a collision. Hopefully the Waymo vehicle doesn't get a DUI. Autonomy is coming, and in this case, actually, it's already here. China has rolled out the world's largest fleet of driverless mining trucks featuring 100 vehicles equipped with Huawei's technologies, autonomous driving systems. The trucks are designed to automatically load and unload mining material as well as operate in harsh weather at this coal mine in Ulaanbaatar, which is a large city in the northern east part of Inner Mongolia. The vehicles could improve overall transport efficiency by 20% compared to manned trucks. But these trucks are really expensive. So not having a driver there, the cost savings are not going to be as huge as having a vehicle that's much cheaper than these huge, gigantic trucks, which we really call buildings on wheels. When you have a vehicle that is just a regular vehicle, the cost to produce a vehicle is cheap. And so therefore replacing the driver with AI, that is going to make a much bigger difference in total overall efficiency. Ooh, General Motors is pushing hard to get rid of California's EV mandate. We need your help. GM said in an email it sent this week to thousands of its white-collar employees. Emission standards that are not aligned with market realities pose a serious threat to our business by undermining consumer choice and vehicle affordability because, you know, they can't make good EVs. So that's why they are rebelling against this. And this is how things are done in America. GM is encouraging employees to use scripted talking points to lobby senators. The goal is to nullify a 2022 California measure that would ban the sale of new gasoline-powered cars and trucks by 2035, a mandate that has since been adopted by 11 other states. The Senate could vote as early as next week to revoke a waiver that allows California to set its own stricter tailpipe emission standards. And I personally believe that Tesla stock is going to $1,000 per share, and then after that, well above it. My name is Matt Postius, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy looking at this nice gain in the last month on your Tesla stock. So Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video, probably on Wednesday, but I am traveling till the end of the week, so I might miss a video on Wednesday or Friday, and on Monday I will not be traveling anymore, so I should be back to the regular schedule.